Hey there buddy, this is Piper here and today we're playing some Rome Total War. So this is a 3 versus 3 battle replay. This game's actually played on Steam about a month and a half ago, and I'll go through the factions first and then we'll go through some of the armies. So it's Rome, Carthage, and Rome has been played by Exras, IoW-Exrax, and Koda or Heaven Koda. He's playing as Carthage. And we're playing against Macedon, Pontus, and Greece. So basically, we've got two Roman factions versus a lot of Pike, and we have Carthage. Macedon has been played by IoW-Alekshendra. I think that's how you pronounce it. Formerly known as Spider Pig. Obviously, Macedon, a lot of really powerful Pike. He's got some archers here as well. They're Cretan archers, and they are, looks like they're just gold attack or silver attack. We've got another player called IoW-Diabolos. Diabolos isn't actually in the IoW clan anymore. This player is actually Neptune. Goes by a couple of other names. Livid, Diabolos I think is another name that he goes by. So he's gone with Pontus. And Pontus, the pike isn't as good as Macedon pike, but you do get these chariots at the back. So he's gone with basically a lot of pike and 6 side chariots. The chariots have upgrades on those. So the last player is IoW-Agis. I think that's how you pronounce that name. Again, archers with Greece. He's gone with a mixture of, I think he's just gone with Cretans actually, just Cretans, gold attack, and Spartans and armoured hoplite. So we'll go through our armies fast. Obviously, Koda, Carthage has a lot of really powerful pike. He's gone with basically 19 pike and 1 cavalry. So the Sacred Band pike, he's made them go gold and 1 chevron. His cavalry is a long shield cavalry, and they are gold, 1 chev as well. So that's quite a good army to bring for Carthage. Very dominant with the pike. That's the Carthage's speciality, pike. So you can't really go too wrong if you bring a lot of pike with Carthage. So Exras and myself, we've both brought a lot of archers each. I brought 4 archers, so is Exras. I've got 5 cavalry. Exras has 4 cavalry, and the rest are urbans, and I've got a legionary first. So the reason why we brought a lot of archers is obviously we're fighting Pontus, and Pontus has the exact same stats on the pike as they do with Suicide Empire. So these pike units are fairly vulnerable to missile units. Obviously the side chariots as well, they have ability to run amok or a disadvantage, I would say. So having these archers here, if you fire flaming arrows at these units, the side chariots, and maybe these guys are winded or tired or a little bit low in morale, these guys will run amok. So we're going to line up the armies here. Got Carthage and Sek on the left flank. Koda's put 5 units of Sacred Band pike in loose formation at the front. And we've got our archers lined up in the centre. Koda's put round his long shield cavalry in the back. And these guys are going to be faster than the side chariots. So that's really to try and catch the Cretans when these guys get tired. He's actually hidden these guys in the marsh area as well, and that's quite a good tactic to use as well, because if you hide units in marshy areas, quite often the enemy forgets they're there, and then you can pounce and use them to the fullest. So both armies, both sides are going to be forming up together. We've got the Cretan archers fairly spaced out. Diabolos is spaced out his scythed chariots. Our archers are going to engage the enemy archers and put my cavalry on the right hand side. So we have a player called Koda on our side. He's a really good guy. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's got a lot of good Total War content. He plays a lot of the medieval Lord of the Rings mod as well. So I'll leave a link to Koda's YouTube channel. Please check it if you have enough time. There's a lot of really good content there. So we'll go back to the battle here. We've got the archer war happening between our auxiliary archers and the Cretans. So we really want to make sure we're hitting some of the pike as well and hitting the archers. We're going to send in some cavalry to try and harass the archers, try and gain the advantage in the archer war. Obviously these guys are fairly fresh. They have basically all their men within the unit, so they're not going to rout. But putting these cavalry units up there to stop these guys from firing, we've forced the Cretans to reposition, and during that time we've actually gained a lot of good shots in there. So it means that we gain the advantage in the archer war. We have more archers anyway, but obviously we want to be using the arrows versus the pike. So you can see there we're actually getting some shots in versus the pike, but we really want to do a lot of damage to the enemy archers first. So I've actually put over my cavalry to the right hand side. So this cavalry is only gold. There's 5 units there, and the player Diabolos is going to move over his chariots. So normally you want to keep cavalry away from chariots. But in this battle, if we win the cavalry battle, if you take out these 5 chariots, it means that we've got a massive advantage. So I've basically done what's called a kata box. I've made a box with the Praetorian cavalry and put these guys into guard mode, keeping these guys together. I've actually pulled over 2 units of archers, and these guys are going to be flaming the chariots as they come across. So Diabolos actually had 2 units of side chariots in his right flank, and we've actually routed those 4 units of side chariots right there. We're taking a lot of damage. Obviously we've only got 5 units of Praetorian cavalry. They're only gold. There was 6 units of side chariots, and I think they had probably gold attack on those side chariots. Some of them had upgrades, so it's almost virtually maybe like 50-50. We're taking a lot of damage here, but we're going to use the archers to try and gain some shots in versus the side chariots. So Koda's keeping his longshield cavalry in the back. He's going to try and chase these side chariots off the field. I think even if they come back from routing, they're going to run amok anyway. And that's the rest of the side chariots taken out. And we've got some cavalry units right there as well. IoW-Esrax has his cavalry. So we're going to be able to outflank on all sides. Don't have to worry about the enemy chariots, and we'll have a pretty good advantage. So following that defeat of his chariots, instead of playing out the rest of the game as you'd expect, because it's a 3 versus 3, Diabolos just admitted defeat straight away, which is a little bit disappointing, to be honest, considering there's 5 other players in this game. But anyway, Diabolos has admitted defeat. He's leaving the field, and I'm going to move around my Praetorian cavalry. So to make things fair and to make things interesting, IoW-Esrax, being the honourable player he is, he's actually admitted defeat as well. So now it's 2 versus 2. So it's a shame for IoW-Esrax because he doesn't get to play in this battle, but it means that it's kind of all square now. And it's going to be quite an interesting game actually, because they've got a situation whereby Greece is fighting Macedon without any cavalry almost. And it's going to be Carthage versus Greece. So I do have some cavalry in the back, but because there's a lot of side chariots running amok, these guys will still do a fair amount of damage to my Praetorian cavalry. Just check out all the dead bodies right here. So you really want to keep these guys back, keep these guys well away from the chariots running amok. And we're going to line up versus Macedon and Greece. So I've never actually seen this battle before, this kind of battle set up where you have Rome without cavalry with 4 archers, and it would be like 9 or 10 urbans, versus Macedon full strength with pike, Carthage versus Greece. And we've got a whole Roman army running away. So this is actually quite an interesting battle now. We've got a unit of IoW-Alekshendra or Spider Pigs. He's got a unit of General's Armoured Bodyguard. I didn't actually see this unit at the start. I think he had this unit at the back somewhere, possibly in the marshy area. But he's going to use that cavalry unit to try and get some kills on the auxiliary archers. So smart plays by Agis. He's trying to outflank with his Spartan Hoplite, and then he's going to gain shots with the Cretans. So you can see there, Koda actually suffered quite significant damage there when he actually pulled round. There's basically a trade-off between not getting outflanked versus the arrows. I'm trying to gain some shots in with my auxiliary archers, try and reduce the Cretan archers. Koda's actually done a charge with his long shield, and he would have got some kills there on the Cretans, but because these guys are only light cavalry and you've got the entire enemy army, most cavalry would just rout straight away. So we've got a situation whereby Greece and Macedon are pushing on Koda. I'm a little bit separated, so I really need to send over some urbans to try and help Koda now. Koda's going to pull back his Sacred Band. I can see there all the good work from the archers really paying off for Greece right there. So I'm trying to help Koda out by shooting the pike and throwing in some Pila versus the Royal Pikemen. We still have the General's Armoured Bodyguard. They're actually winded, they're 19 in strength. And my Praetorian Cavalries came back from the battle versus the chariots. So we get Koda pulling around with his Sacred Band. Greece is going to engage Koda. So because Greece is actually attacking Koda, Koda will have the advantage. And plus, there's an opportunity for Koda to actually outflank with his pike, which he's doing right there at the sides. I've pulled around some of my urbans, and we're going to gain some good Pila shots versus the armoured hoplite and the sacred, or rather the Spartans. My Praetorian Cavalry, we've just charged the last of the Macedonian Cavalry, and our archers are fighting versus the backs of the Spartans. So we've got our urbans lined up, throwing some Pila versus the Royal Pikemen. We actually engaged some of our urbans right there, so we throw Pila at the back. Spider Pig has a Pila shield at the front there. We're sending in a unit to engage that, so we throw Pila at the back. Spider Pig has brought over 6 units of Royal Pikemen, and what's actually happened here is the bulk of my forces on the right hand side. Spider Pig's playing the smart move. He's going to try and double team Koda with the Royal Pikemen. So I'm going to have to send over some urbans to try and help out Koda. I'm going to put more pressure on Spider Pig so he doesn't pull over these pike, and we're going to use the cavalry to try and chase down some of the archers, because we don't want these archers to outflank and start shooting the backs of the pike. So really powerful wall, they're using the Spartans and the Royal Pikemen. I'm basically going to hold up the Royal Pikes in this area, keeping my urbans in Testudo. Spider Pig has his Cretans attacking my auxiliary archers. I think they've actually run out of ammunition. Some of my archers have ammunition, so it's a good play by Spider Pig right there. My 2 units of urbans have came round the side to help Koda, and the rest of my cavalry, it's actually very tired now. We're chasing down the enemy Cretans. So there's a bit of pressure on Koda in the centre. Obviously there's 2 units of Royal Pikemen, or 3 units actually helping Greece. So that's a very defensive pike formation right there. But we're going to hopefully put more pressure on Spider Pig. Use the cavalry chase down some of the archers. and start using our archers to shoot the backs of the Spartans. I've chased away some of the Cretans right there. There's a unit of Royal Pikemen that's been separated. We're hopefully going to take these guys out. And we've got the war happening between the Royal Pikemen and the urban cohort. So I've actually got 2 units of Royal Pikemen. I've actually got a little bit of an outflank on the Spartans right there. Koda's doing a great job in the centre. He's actually managed to break a couple of units of Spartans, and we're going to move forward our urbans. These guys are going to get some peeler shots in versus the Royal Pikemen. So my archers still have some arrows left. These guys have actually switched to flaming arrows, and we're going to start flaming the backs of the enemy pike. We've got the unit of Royal Pikemen. They've actually right at the top there, and we're actually winning the pike battle here, and the gap has opened up at the back of Spider Pig. So we've sent in 2 units of urban cohort. We've got our cavalry here. Unfortunately, the pike wall's been broken from Macedon, and 1 versus 1 urbans will just destroy pike. So Spider Pig's doing the best he can with what he has left. Obviously, we've got the archers here firing flaming arrows. These guys have actually been outflanked, and there's a lot more enemy here now. So they're probably going to be a little bit lacking on the morale. So Spider Pig's doing the best he can here. He's actually trying to make a pike box. Pulling back pike over here, trying to hold back the Sacred Band pike. He's got a unit over here as well, and a unit over here. But in this position, we've basically outflanked, and we have too many urbans left. So Koda's pushing in with the rest of his Sacred Band. He's routed 2 units of Royal Pikemen right there, and we've got a lot more units of urbans in the centre here. So the archers are still firing in flaming arrows. So these flaming arrows will just be sapping the morale of the enemy. You can see there a volley of arrows went in there, and those 2 units actually routed. So that looks to be the end of the battle there. Not really much. Once the box had been broken by those 2 units of urbans, it's very hard for Macedon to regain the advantage. Macedon has really good pike. Provided they can keep a defensive formation, the pike is very powerful. But obviously I think they were fairly tired. The flaming arrows and just everything else just led to a rout on the pike. So that was a really good battle there. Hope you've enjoyed this battle replay. Thanks for watching. Well played to everyone. A little bit disappointed in Diabolos, or he's now known as Livid or Neptune. A little bit disappointed that he actually quit the battle so early. Again, obviously lost his chariots. Doesn't mean that defeat was imminent. He should have probably still kept playing. And there's another 5 players in this battle, so pretty bad sportsmanship, but I guess it happens. And it created a 2 versus 2 at the end that was fairly interesting, but it was a shame for IoW-Esrax. He had to admit defeat as well. So like I said at the start, I hope you enjoyed this battle replay. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. If you have any battle requests, or if you have any battle replays, let me know. Thanks for watching. This is Piper signing off.